Happy morning, children. Hope you all are doing good and safe. Okay. So, children, in the last session also we have learned the same chapter, that is socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution. Okay. So, as I told you people, children, you just understand this is a very much important chapter because even in the 10th standard the same concepts are going to continue. There we'll be studying like a nationalism in Europe. Okay. So here, be careful and understand the concept very well. Yes. So in the last session, in the last class, what are the concepts we have learned, children? So we understood about the Europe, what do you mean by the socialism, how the socialism started, and we understood about the Russia economic situation and about the Tsar Nicholas II. Okay, and then we saw even about the 1905 revolution. Okay, and then next we are going to see about the First World War and the revolutions. Okay, so how this First World War affected Russia. Okay, the Russian economy, all those concepts we'll be seeing. Okay. So guys, be careful, listen the concept very well, okay? And the one more thing, what are the causes of the First World War? You people just go through, browse and understand, okay? In 10th standard, you will be having, that is what's a very much important concept, that is imperialism. So I'm telling you only one cause, that is imperialism. Imperialism is one of the main cause for this First World War. What do you mean by this imperialism? That means, for example, India was also one of the colony for British. Yes or no? So what happened this time? The imperialism is the one country will be controlling the another country. It may be in the political, it may be in the economical way, all the ways. Okay, so that is known as imperialism. So that was at that time, it was a major problem the people were facing. So the many countries were controlling the other countries. So that is the major reason for this First World War. So how this First World War affected this Russia? Okay, let us see that the First World War against the Tsarina and then results of the First World War. What are the results of the First World War? Let us see that. Okay. Yes. So if we just start seeing about the First World War, there were the two alliances. Okay, there were two, the alliance were there. You can just see here, children. The First World War broke out between two European alliances in 1914. So from 1914 till 1917, they had this First World War. Okay, so the First World War broke out between the two European alliance, the two European groups in the year of 1914. It started. Okay. So the first thing we can see, Germany, Austria and Turkey were known as the Central Powers. So here these were the main countries who were fighting against. Okay, they were the the three major countries involved in this First World War. And the next, it is France, Britain and Russia. Later Italy and Romania also joined to support this Central Powers. Okay, to support this Central Powers. So here Russia was, Russia fought against German and Austria. Okay, hope you guys are understanding now, children. The First World War broke out between the two alliances in the year of 1914. Okay, and the Central Powers, which are the three countries called as the Central Powers? It is German, Austria and the Turkey. Okay, and then the alliance, the supporters, the France, Britain, Russia, later Italy and Romania also joined. Here we are studying about Russia. Russia opposed and fought against Germany and Austria. Okay, yes. And the next thing, Tsar supported initially by Russian people. So the Russian people started to support the Tsar Nicholas II in the beginning, because he started with the Duma. Even though he suspended and the Duma was formed, the maximum with the conservative people. What do you mean by Duma, children? The parliament, the elected parliament they started, right? That is what they were calling it as a Duma. The Duma was first suspended and again he reformed, and with the maximum conservative people. So here what happens, the Tsar initially he's supported by the Russian and entered into war without consulting the Duma. So already the parliament is there, but without consulting them, without taking the permission from them, without informing them, he joined the First World War, and anti-German sentiments arose. So as I told you people in the beginning only, the Russia fought against Germany and Austria, mainly with these two countries, Germany and Austria. So that time what happened, this anti-German, so they started to oppose against the Germany. So they started to do the anti-German activities. Okay, the anti-German activities are the sentiments arose in the Russia. So what they started to do with this anti-German, let us see that. See, against the Tsarina. So that means how this anti-German, the activities they started in Russia. Let us see here. The St. Petersburg, the name, the St. Petersburg, the name itself is the German origin name. So that is the reason they renamed the St. Petersburg as a Petrograd. So you guys remember about this place, right? The St. Petersburg, it is the capital. Okay. And then it was a main, the city, it's a main city for their industrial activities also. Okay. And Tsarina Alexandra. So she is a wife of Tsar Nicholas II. And she is also, origin of this Germany. That is the German link. She too had the German link. And Alexandra influenced by Christian monk, that is Rasputin. So they had an advisor. One of the poor advisor was there with the Tsar Nicholas II, that is Christian monk, that is Rasputin. He is also a German, the person. Okay. And all these factors made the autocracy unpopular. So by seeing all these things, the people started to believe that King Tsar Nicholas II will not, oppose the Germany. He's just pretending like he's, doing the war. So finally, what happened? The people started to, oppose him. Beginning, they rallied for him, but later, slowly, they started to oppose him because of these activities. Okay, anti-German activities. Yes. So finally, children, as we know that when we start or when we have a war, what will be the results? Of course, for the war, we have to invest a lot. The financial investment will be more. Even in French Revolution, I have explained this. So what happens for the, the soldiers, they have to invest more. For the, the instruments or for the equipments they'll be using in the war, they have to invest more, and they have to send the food and all, use more and more food products for the serving of the war. So it will be like army. So they have to invest more and more on army people. Okay, the same here also what happened, results of the First World War in the Russia we are seeing, see here. The Russian armies lost against Germany and Austria. So how they were fighting in the war, in the First World War, they started to attack this Germany and Austria. So they had the, the western, the front and the eastern front. So with the two areas, they attacked the both, Germany in the both the areas, western yard and even the eastern front. So that time what happened, coming to these places, the people were quite safer because they had a tunnels, the trenches were there. That means, it will be like a deep, the trenches, the soldiers will be hiding inside that, and whenever they see their opponents or the enemies, they'll just fire and they'll hide. So there we could have seen the less casualties and they were more safe than compared to the Eastern Front. Okay, so in the Eastern Front, what happened? There was no, the trenches and to hide the soldiers. So that is the reason what happened. They were successful, but still the lots of deaths and the casualties were there in the Eastern Fronts. Guys, you people are understanding, right? So compared to Western Front, Eastern Front, there they had a more and more casualties. Okay, see, that is what here they are telling, the 7 million deaths on Russian side. So finally almost 7 million people, they died on the Russian side, the army, the soldiers. So what happens that time? The people were not ready to fight against the war. They were not ready to be a part of this war. So they all fed up with this, and even the administration of the Tsar was not that much good. He was like a crazy man. Whatever the decision he was taking was not good at the time. So whenever the situation when he was taking the decision was not that much good. Okay, so that is the situation. What happened? This Russian army started to come back from the Germany attacks. So that time what happened? They started to think in a different strategy. So that means when they are coming back, even Germany, the soldiers may attack them back. So that is the reason what they started to do. They started to destroy their buildings only, the Russian buildings, and the Russian, whatever the crops they were growing, all those things. Okay, all those things they started to destroy, children. So that is the reason what happened. So due to that, they did not think about the future. So they started to destroy their crops, their buildings. So that is the reason almost the 3 million refugees in Russia. So that causes almost 3 million refugees in the Russia. They started to move into the Russia. And Tsarist popularity of Russia, finally, the popularity of the Tsar Nicholas II started to reduce. The people started to oppose him. And not only this is the situation, and coming to the food, the problems about the food also started to increase more and more. Okay, and even the industrialization also started to get affect. You people are understanding, right? This is what the results of the First World War, children. So Russian army, as I told you people, they mainly fought against Germany and Austria. So but it lost against the Germany and Austria. So they were fighting, with like a Western Front and the Eastern Front. So the Western Fronts were quite, the safe and successful, since they had the trenches in the tunnels. But here in the Eastern Front, the many casual, almost 7 million deaths and the casualties from the Russian side. And to escape from that, the Russian army themselves, they started to destroy the the Russian buildings and even the crops, because they thought that whenever those people, the enemies, are coming and attacking them, so there will be no place for them to live and survive. There will be no food for them to survive. With that idea, they destroyed. So that causes almost 3 million refugees in the Russia. Okay, and many, the popularity of the Tsar started to reduce slowly, because you can see the many casualties. And of course, as we know that, children, for example, coming to India, if any war, if we fight, or if we if we are going to fight any war, if we lose that war, what happens? All the blame will be going on the single person, that is who will be the head. Yes or no? So same way also here also, what happened, whatever the loss the casualties happened, the people started to blame Tsar Nicholas too. So that is what the